All right, in this video, we are going to basically complete the last part of this Conestoga College pre-admission math exam. Last time we ended off with question number 80, so I'm going to start with question number 81, which is radicals. This might be a bit of a longer video because I want to get through all the last couple of questions. I don't want to make a sixth video for this one, so I'm going to go as long as I need to complete this one. Hopefully it won't take too long. So when simplifying a radical, we want to divide it by a square rootable number, if possible, at least in the case of whole numbers. So what can I divide 48 by? Can I divide it by 4, 9, 16, 25? Basically any number that's squared. I know that 48 is just 16 times 3. And then the square root of 16 is just 4, so I can bring that out. So my final answer is just 4 root 3. For this second one here, when you're square rooting a number like this with decimals, it can be a bit tricky, but what you want to do is you want to think about, we know there's a 1 at the end there, so the square root of 1 is 1. A couple of different ways you can do this. We can either convert it into a fraction and then convert it back, or we can do it straight in decimals if you know how to do it straight in decimals. I'm actually going to just convert this into a fraction because I find that a lot easier to do, especially for harder problems. So this I can write it as 1 over, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros on the bottom. So now I want to square root this over here. The square root of 1 is just 1. And the square root of 10,000, well, 100 times 100 is 10,000. That should be pretty straightforward to do. Now I can convert this back into a decimal. So that's just 0.0. 1, 2 zeros means I need 2 decimal places over there. That's my solution to that one. Question number 83, the format is written a bit weird in this question, but the question should actually be just square root of x squared times y cubed. I don't know why they write the x's and the y's twice, but I think that's just a typo. So whenever you have an even exponent, you can always take that out. But if you have an odd exponent, you want to just rewrite it so that it's a bit easier to take it out. So I'm just going to start by rewriting this as x squared, y squared, and y. So I just broke the y cube into a y squared times y. You want to try and create as many even exponents as possible. And then I'm just going to take the even ones out. So the square root of x squared is just x. The square root of y squared is just y. And then I cannot square root the y. So my final answer is xy times square root y. Same thing with this one over here. The question's written a bit weird, so I'm going to rewrite it. It's actually square root of just 16 over 5a cubed. I don't know why they write that extra a over there, the extra letter. And you might see that in the questions or the solutions sometimes. So what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to start by just splitting the a cube over there into a squared times a. And now the square root of 16 is 4. I can't square root 5, so I'm not going to touch that. The square root of a squared is just a. So I've taken the 16 and the a square out, which means on the top, there's just a 1 left on the inside. There is nothing left up there. And in the bottom, I just have 5a left. So that is my final solution for this one. Okay, next question is simplify by factoring. I'm not going to explain factoring methods in detail, but I have a lot of factoring videos on my channel. You can always check them out, or you can just send me a message and I can send you the links for good factoring videos if you want to practice your basic factoring. But I'm just going to explain how to solve these questions a bit quicker. Over here, I'm going to start by factoring this first by difference of squares. So that's just b plus 2 times b minus 2. A plus 7 cannot be factored. And then instead of using a division sign, I'll actually just use a fraction because it makes things a lot easier. 2a plus 14 can be common factored to 2 times a plus 7. So I've factored. Next, I'm going to simplify. A plus 7 cancels. B minus 2 cancels. So my solution is just b plus 2 over 2. Do the next one, 86 over here on this paper. That is a simple trinomial there. I can factor it with my man method. So what multiplies to negative 14 and adds to negative 5? So that's negative 7 and 2. And that's a simple trinomial again. So what multiplies to negative 10 adds to negative 3? That's just negative 5 and 2. So when I'm rewriting that, I'm using these two numbers over here, t minus 7, t plus 2. And then the denominator is just these two numbers, d minus 5, d plus 2. d plus 2 and d plus 2 cancel, so final solution is just d minus 7 over d minus 5. Don't need any brackets anymore over there. Question 87, that is a difference of squares over there, so I can just square root it. 2f plus 1, 2f minus 1. And on the bottom there, I have a complex trinomial. For a complex trinomial, you have to do your long man method. I'll do that over here. So my multiplication for this one is the first number times the last number, which is 12. My addition is just the number in the middle, which is 8. And then two numbers that multiply to 12 and add to 8 are 6 and 2. So now I have to break down the middle term here into the two numbers. So 8f is going to break down into 6f plus 2f plus 3. And now I have to factor this by grouping. Again, I have a lot of videos of this on my channel. Just search up factoring grade 10 math on my channel. You'll see a lot of videos of this. You need extra practice. So my common factor here is 2f, 2f plus 3. My common factor here is 1, 2f plus 3. Then my final solution is just 2f plus 3, 2f plus 1. So let me put that over here, 2f plus 3, 2f plus 1, 2f plus 1, 2f plus 1 cancel. So final solution is just 2f minus 1 over 2f plus 3. And then last one, 88 over there. 88, I can actually common factor a 3 on the top. 3 and common factor, always common factor first. Left with h4 plus 2h square minus 3. On the bottom, I can common factor out a 4. Left with h4 minus 1. I can actually factor both of these further now because that's a simple trinomial. So what multiplies to negative 3 and adds to positive 2? My two numbers are 3 and negative 1. So I can rewrite this. Because this is h4, when I rewrite it, it's going to become h square. H square minus 1. So keep that in mind. On the bottom, I have the 4 there, and then I can factor this with difference of squares. H square minus 1, h square plus 1. Now I can cancel these, and then can't factor or do anything further. So final solution, 3h squared plus 3 over 4h squared plus 1. All right, next we have some geometry over here. What is the area of figure 4? So area of a cuboid is just length times width times height. So we just have 3 times 4 times 5. 4 times 5 is 20. No, 4 times 5 is 20. Oh wait, what's the area of figure 4? I'm looking at the wrong one. I'm doing the volume of figure 5 by accident. Area is just length times width, so 15 times 7. 5 times 7 is 35. 3, 1 plus 1 times 7, 7 plus 3 is 10. So 105 square units, basically. You don't give us any unit there, so we're just going to write it as square units. What is the volume of this? That's what I was doing there. 3 times 4 times 5. 5 times 4 is 20 times 3, so that's just 60 cubic units because volume is always cubic. Area is always squared. What is the perimeter of figure 6? So to find the perimeter, this is pretty tricky because perimeter is 2 pi r, but how would you do pi? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong figure again. Figure 6 is this. What is the perimeter of this figure? So we have the perimeter, we're just adding all the sides. So we have 12 plus 7 plus 12. I think they just want us to do that part there, which is a semicircle. So perimeter of a circle is 2 pi r, which means perimeter of a semicircle is just pi times r. This over here, the radius is basically half of that over there, which is 3.5. So it's pi times 3.5. And then how would we do this without a calculator though? Okay, I guess, pi is 3.14. So we got to multiply these two over here. And we got to add that answer here because that is the perimeter of that part over there. I guess we're doing it with decimal multiplication and then we'll probably round our answer. The 3, actually, 3, 1, 4, 35. Let's multiply these. 4 times 5 is 20. 2, 1 times 5 is 5 plus 2 is 7. 3 times 5 is 15. Placeholder 0. 12. 1 there. 1 times 3. 3 plus 1, 4. 3 times 3 is 9. Add these up. 0, 9, 9, 10. Then I have 3 decimal places in total. So 1, 2, 3. So basically it's 10.99 if we multiply those two. So I guess I can just round this to 11. It's close enough to 11. So plus 11. So that side is 12 plus 7 plus 12. And then that over there is 11. So let's add all of these up. 12, 24, 31, 42 units. And there's no square or cube because perimeter is just normal. Then what is the surface of figure 7? I think they assume we're doing surface area over here. Then that's going to be a bit of a tough one because we're going to have some decimal multiplications over there. So surface area will be the top plus the bottom plus the side. Now the side is pretty simple. It's just we have the length times the circumference, not simple actually. So think about it. If we open this up, the this over here, the circumference, which is 2 pi r, is going to be multiplied by this 10 to give us the surface area of the side. And for the top and bottom, we have to do pi r square. So we basically have pi r square, which is the top, plus pi r square, which is the bottom, plus for this side, it's 2 pi r times h. So that's the formula for the surface area of a cylinder, or you could just add those two up and write 2 times pi r square. This calculation here of pi r square is going to be a bit difficult, but let's do it. So pi is 3.14 times, the radius is half of that, which is 1.75, and then times 1.75. We're going to do this calculation over here, which is a pretty difficult and long calculation. So, oof, oh my, I don't even want to do this multiplication. Okay, I'm going to skip this calculation for this video because it's going to be extremely long. It's going to take too much time to do it. Pretty tough question. Will take a lot of time in the test, so it's just saving this question at the end. But I'm just going to use a calculator to help with this one, just to save us a bit of time. Because doing this multiplication is going to take extremely, extremely long. So in the calculator, this is approximately 5.5. So we have 5.5 plus 5.5. And then for the other one, I have 2 times 3.14 times r, which is 1.75 times 10. This calculation is not as long as that one, but again, I'm just going to use a calculator for now. Save us a bit of time. You just get 110 over here, approximately. If I add these up, oh, I made a mistake in my calculator. I accidentally put 1.5 here. This is actually 9.6. Now if I add these up, 110 plus 9.6 is 119.6. 119.6 plus 9.6 is 129.2. The final answer here is 129.2 square units. That's the surface area of this figure there. But again, I don't know why they would give you a surface area of such a tough question to do without a calculator. Maybe it's one of the challenging ones that shows up at the end. But again, I didn't want to spend like 10 minutes or 5-10 minutes of this video just doing that one calculation. So I just used the calculator for that one. But you can try practicing it without a calculator, see if you can get the solution. All right, and let's go on to the last page of this video. How many degrees is 2 pi radians? So 2 pi radians is one circle. One circle is 360 degrees. If you ever want to convert degrees into radians, you can always multiply your radians by 180 over pi or 360 over 2 pi if it was a different value, but 2 pi is just 360 degrees. What is the complementary angle of 18 degrees? So complementary angles always have to add up to 90 degrees. So all you do is you take 90 degrees and subtract what they give you. 90 minus 18 is just 72 degrees. What is the equivalent positive angle of negative 235 degrees? To find the equivalent positive angle, you just keep adding 360 till it becomes positive. So I'm just doing negative 235 plus 360. So I can just rewrite that as 360 minus 235. It's the same thing. 5, 1, 5, 2, 1. So it's just 125 degrees. And then what is the supplementary angle of 105? Supplementary angles just add up to 180 degrees. So just doing 180 minus whatever they give you. 180 minus 105. Pretty easy to do mentally. That's just 75 degrees. But if you can't do it mentally, just do it using the long method. Okay, and last section, trigonometry. So for trigonometry here, we're doing sine, cos, tan, which uses SOHCAHTOA. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. And tan is opposite over adjacent. So what is the value of sine A cos A tan B? They don't give us A, B, and C in the triangle, which is a bit strange. Okay, so this has to be angle C because it's opposite of side C, but there's information missing in this question, so I'm just going to fill it out. This is A, this is B, angle ABC. Okay, so sine A is opposite over hypotenuse, but I don't know the hypotenuse just yet, which means I can't find the value of sine A just yet. I need to find the hypotenuse first. So I'm going to start by doing question 100 first, which is technically with the first question there. We have to find the value of side C. To find the value of side C, we're doing a Pythagorean theorem here, which is a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where c is your hypotenuse. So 6 squared plus 8 squared equals c squared. 6 squared is just 36, 8 squared 64. Add them up. If you can't do it mentally, write it down. And last, I need to square root to isolate the c, which means my c is 10, the square root of 100. Now I can find the value of sine A. Sine A is opposite over hypotenuse. So that's just 6 over 10, which can simplify to 3 over 5. Cos A is adjacent over hypotenuse, which is 8 over 10, which simplifies to 4 over 5. And tan B, we're looking at B here. Tan is opposite over adjacent. So tan is opposite over adjacent. And again, I can simplify this to 4 over 3. All right, so that concludes this video over here, and it concludes the entire test as well. Hopefully you found this content helpful. Let me know in the comments if you want me to post specific topics. If you need any help, you can all in a specific topic, you can always send me a message or put a message in the comments, and I'll make a video specific to whatever your comment is, maybe like 10 practice questions on trig or angles or something like that, whatever you're struggling with. And yeah, that should be a bit helpful. If you made it to the end of this video, please hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.